Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the show, Podcast Unfiltered. First, let me say this. If you made it through 2025, you deserve a medal. 2025 was rough. Politically, it was turbulent. Economically, punishing. Security-wise, very unsettling. So before we dive into what 2026 has in store, I want to take this time to say thank you. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you also for many of you who have subscribed to the channel. And of course, those who have also sent in comments, arguing with me, of course, respectfully, when you express your minds. Thank you very much. Please keep them coming. You know, this channel exists because you keep showing up. So I don't take it for granted. So in this episode, I'll be doing a quick overview of what we should expect in the year 2026. We'll look at global events. We'll look at events that will happen on the continent of Africa. We'll pay particular attention also to events in Nigeria. Starting globally, just early today, the world woke up to a dramatic, shaking political news about a forced change of government in Venezuela following a U.S. military intervention. The latest is that President Nicolas Maduro has been taken away from Venezuela and is about to be arraigned in New York on charges related to drug trafficking and so on. Well, some say this isn't new, and of course, they are right. The US has a long history of using power, economic, diplomatic, as well as military against sovereign government it considers hostile. But here's the bigger question for us in 2026. Is the United States working dangerously close to another Iraq or Afghanistan-style overreach? Of course, history tells us something important. Regime change is very easy. Stability is hard. So I'd like to hear from you. Do you think this is a decisive leadership, just reckless repetition of history? Does the United States power still deter chaos, or it's creating a new one? Please drop your comments in the comment box. Let's come home to Africa. Uganda is heading into elections. Yoweri Museveni, who has been in power for over 40 years, is widely expected to extend his rule again come the election scheduled for January 15th. But what's deeply troubling is not just the predictability of the outcome of the election. It's the cost. Cost in terms of civil society organizations that continue under siege. Human rights activists are harassed, opposition party candidates are detained. And just before we rang in the new year, we saw news of the arrest of human rights activist Sarah Berete by Ugandan authorities. Join my voice to many others who are calling for the release of Sarah. I will also add that what is happening in Uganda is not isolated. We've seen similar patterns in Tanzania and Cameroon just in 2025. Crushed opposition, shrinking civic space, elections reduced to mere rituals and not choices. This is becoming a regional pattern and not an exception. So here is the big question as Uganda approaches this January 15th, 2026 election. What future does democracy have there in Uganda? And what role, if any, will the African Union and the international community play beyond issuing statements? Because silence at this point is complicity. Now let's talk about Nigeria, because politics there is already in full campaign mode. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appears to be consolidating power ahead of elections in 2027. The ruling All Progressives Congress continues to welcome a steady stream of defections from the opposition People's Democratic Party. Just yesterday, the North Central State of Plateau, Governor Caleb Mutfwang crossed over to the All Progressives Congress. As it stands today, APC controls 28 of the 36 states governors in Nigeria, and more defections are expected. So the obvious question is the die already cast? Do these defections guarantee President Tinubu a second term? History tells us something important. Defections win structures, but elections are still won by voters. So which matters more in 2026? Please, you tell me. Talk opposition party politics. The year 2025 ended with a major political announcement as Mr. Peter Obi officially declared for the African Democratic Congress. His full declaration on the eve of the new year comes after months of speculation whether he was going to join the African Democratic Congress or he was going to remain with the Labour Party. But now he has made his move. Of course, his entry into the African Democratic Congress seems to have injected fresh energy into opposition politics. But that also comes with fresh tension. Obi and his supporters have been very clear. They are not in ADC to play second fiddle. That sets up a high-stakes contest because within ADC, Obi will face formidable contenders, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Governor of Rivers State and Minister for Transportation Rotimi Amechi, and several others who are in the party. So here is the question. Can ADC truly function as a united coalition capable of unseating the APC? Or will internal rivalry over the presidential ticket tear ADC apart? Opposition unity sounds good on paper. In practice, it's brutal. Now let's talk security, because Nigerians are just tired. 2025 ended with a dramatic development as a U.S. Christmas Day airstrike on ISIS location in Sokoto State, northwest Nigeria, which has been widely reported. Now, was that symbolic? Was that military strike strategic? Or just a warning sign? I think the answer is flowing in the wind. What Nigerians want in 2026 is simple. An end to kidnappings, an end to mass killings, an end to living in fear. Sahel crisis is already pushing militants southwards. Nigeria cannot afford half measures anymore. Now, let's take a look at economic outlook in Africa for 2026. Africa is projected to be the fastest growing region in the world in 2026. A good one. But growth is uneven. The Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is finally moving from vision to implementation. But at the same time, global powers are scrambling for Africa's resources. Competition for critical minerals is intensifying. The digital economy is expanding rapidly on the continent. But East and West Africa are emerging as growth hotspots. But risks still remain. Risks including debt distress, geopolitical rivalries, contested elections like I've mentioned. So in 2026, Africa will be a battleground, not just for power, but for influence. So yes, the year will be busy. It will be unpredictable. And this year will matter. From elections to security, from trade to geopolitics, the choices made this year will echo far beyond borders and regions. In all, I pray that 2026 brings blessings, stability, accountability, and prosperity for all of us. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of the show. And if you have come this far, and you have not subscribed to this channel, we would love you to do so. Please subscribe by clicking the button below, and we would love to hear from you. Please keep those comments coming. And until I see you in the next episode, stay blessed.